chance to talk about the book now, Temple of Solomon, how it's laid out, your story there about how this agenda has been developing wines over the centuries from, I mean, there is a chapter about, an amazing chapter about the mesmerizing 16th and 17th century figure of John Dee.
Yeah.
Fascinating person.
Very, very fascinating.
And over to the, I mean, I just jump over a couple of examples, but over to the 19th century British imperialist, Cecil Rhodes, which I had no idea was involved in these kinds of ideas, and all the way up to the, 20th century features like the Round Table movement, the League of Nations, the United Nations, the Bilderberg Group, and as we've already talked about, the Club of Rome, the Trilateral Commission, and the World Economic Forum. And you weave together this with the elements also of modern pop culture, like movies, Hollywood movies, like The Matrix, of course, which is often mentioned on this channel, because it's such a good metaphor for what we're experiencing in many ways. And also the omniscient computer HAL in the fantastic film 2001, A Space Odyssey. HAL is both an acronym and a word in Coptic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It means, what does it mean? You wrote it in the book?
I can't recall it just now, but...
Is it simulation?
Yeah, simulation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
It is.
So that's it all goes together.
Artificial.
Something artificial, which the computer is, and which these other things also are that you're writing about. So what's going on here? How much, you already touched on this, but how much of this is, I mean, from John Dee and onwards, is part of a conscious plan, and how much is free and creative ideas that have been hijacked by malevolent people? Could you make an assessment there? I mean, you don't do it in the book because it's probably a bit difficult. But
it is difficult
to know what is what.
Yes, because I think, as I said, a lot of this, we're not trying to be evil. We actually believe this will create a better world. But it's their vision of the world, and that's one of the things I warn about, or that I don't think it's a good thing to try to make utopia, because utopia for you may not be the same utopia for another person, and so the evil part is trying to get other people to play your game, but it's like I don't think these people intentionally thinks that it's like
maybe a few of them, maybe some
are
pulling the strings,
and as I write in a chapter about psychopathy, because that's what I see as a problem we have, and that's why I don't think we can make a real utopia, because we are humans and we have differences, and it's how do you get rid of psychopathic people? That means you have to be a psychopath yourself, and that's a real problem. I've written a little bit about this myself, or made videos about it. You mentioned the term pathocracy in the book, and that's I think a very good term. I can't remember who coined it, but anyway, it's a Polish psychologist,
right? Yeah, because it's a sad fact that people who are psychopaths or sociopaths, they are much more likely to strive for these powerful positions.
Yes,
because it's kind of in their personality to do that.
It is,
and most good people don't want to be bosses. They don't want to lead countries, because they realize, they understand that I can't tell other people what to do. But then we have this structure that is hierarchical, which means that somebody has to be the boss, and so the psychopaths strive for those positions. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation where, I mean, if you want to have a good world, you really ought to kind of just get rid of the system, don't you? I mean, the structure. You need a different structure, which is less hierarchical, and more horizontal. I don't have the answers as for how that's going to come about, but in order to get rid of these, the pathocracy that we're living in, we have to change things very radically, don't you think?
Yeah, we have to.
But on the other hand, revolutions have not been a good idea.
No.
Over the course of history.
It hasn't.
For people to understand how this is possible, because you never hear about this unless you reads your books, for instance. That a wealthy, influential family with that has built up some of the biggest, most powerful oil companies in the world can be behind this climate change agenda, because how is it? Is it that they they understand that they're not going to be able to sell oil in the future, but they don't care about that because they care about other things. They want to be influential in other areas, or is it that they think that, well, people are going to buy our products anyway because this is never going to happen, but we can just pursue this agenda and make people, think that there's something else going on, but we will still sell oil. If you catch my drift here, I mean, it's very difficult for ordinary people to understand how, because you hear about the oil companies being on the other side, on the evil side, like the Koch brothers. They are often pointed out that, oh, look at the Koch brothers. They try to influence people to become climate deniers or climate skeptics, and those are the bad people. But I mean, these are oil companies, big oil companies that are behind the green agenda.
Yes.
Can you once again try to explain in a few sentences why are they doing this? I mean, we're going to delve deeper into the deep history and all that, but I mean, just
it's about being
the short answer.
Be very smart, okay. and because they know if they do something as oil companies, and they will get a reaction on what they are doing. And they don't want this reaction to spiral out of control and make business hard for them. So it's better to run the opposition yourself, as Vladimir Lenin once said.
So it's a preemptive activity.
It is, and they will actually work for you in the end. And it's also the solutions that they come up with, like big windmills, wind farms, and so on. They know this will can't be run without a backup energy system with oil, and they can invest in wind farms, of course, but then take out the money before it
becomes operational.
Exactly. So they are businessmen. They think in business and also using these groups. So you can find it's very, very easy to go into the Rockefeller Brothers Fund and find the things that they are supporting. A lot of activist groups that are on the left. And they more or less brag about it. We are the good people. But and one thing that I also became not a shock, but they said we're going to divest from oil. And we had this, it was like in 2008, 2014, they were very much into, now we're going to divest from our foundations, only will no oil invested in. But the thing what happened was that we have this other company that runs their financial business, the Rockefeller Capital Management firm. They bought more stock in Exxon and Chevron, and now we have more stock than they had in 2014 when we initiated this divestment program. So they have this both sides all the time. But when they can point out, we are these good guys, we want to create this green world and so on. But,
do you think that investigative journalists have covered this very well?
No, some have looked into it and very, but it's like they are so much in this left-right paradigm. It's just left-right all the time, and they don't. Because what I wanted to do in my PhD thesis was I want to have this helicopter perspective and look on both sides. Where does the money come from, and how is it working?
Yeah. Hello, my friends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with your friends. Please support the channel if you can. I appreciate all the support. You can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can make a one-off donation via PayPal if you wish. All the links are in the description box below. Thank you.